I'm like, okay, it's probably a good review. You know, she sent it to me. It's good. And then in there it says something about, and then I don't know why he put this cliche song in there. And I was like, I quit.
I quit. I can't believe someone thinks I'm cliche. I can't.
I was like, I quit, man. I can't. And but honestly, though, that stuff is very triggering for me, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I find that, like, internet, social media, that there's so much triggering
So
there.
many opinions. It's like motherfuckers have
So
so
many.
many opinions. And I'm like,
Wow, too
do you
many.
need to be talking right now? Did you have to say that to me? Like, I'm okay.
Too many motherfucking opinions. That's why I like, it's
That's a
good to
song
be
right
able
there.
to. I swear to God, I got a tattoo of it. God damn it.
Oh,
Tired of it.
cancel them.
Let them go. Social media detox sometimes is necessary, you know? And that's a thin line as an artist too,
Have
because
you done those? Have you ever done like a successful social media detox?
I did it for 2 days.
Yeah, I did it for 2 months one time, man. I actually
Really?
3 months. I did no Twitter and no Instagram. I would just have my assistant
Actually,
post for me if I felt like posting something.
I did do that. I was off Instagram for like 6 months, but I was low key still
Right?
on that. I was
Yeah,
there,
no,
but
mine
I
was
was like,
off. I deleted mine
yeah,
off my phone, and I
yeah,
literally wasn't on it. And that was honestly some of the best 3 months of my life. I had so many adventures with myself, and like
that sounds
I
so
forgot
fire.
about the fact that everybody's in everybody's business all the time. It was
Yeah,
the
that
best.
sounds so fire. I'm gonna bring
Yeah.
Dr. Luana on here for a couple minutes.
Yes.
Um, let
Is she
me,
joining us like three-way type vibe?
yeah.
Excuse you. Like a three-way phone
Yeah,
call.
three,
There
yeah.
we go. Beautiful. Hello.
Hi, you guys are amazing. I was feeling the vulnerability and the ability to connect together. Everybody needs somebody, and this is so powerful. I was just so amazed of what you guys are talking about.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to join us.
We're some self-aware little babies.
No,
We
I
tried it.
loved it. You're both talking about something that I think would be really helpful for all of us to think about a little bit. You both talked about being triggered, right? When something
Mm,
hits, either you're like something in the news or somebody is talking about your music. And then what happens is our brain goes on fight or flight, right? The fear part of our brain turns on. And then
And
something happens to all of us. We start spinning, right? And we're like, what are they saying? And then you start to feel anxious. And then Lauren, you talked about sort of like wanting to avoid it, right? I just don't want to deal with
I
that.
run away from that shit so hard, dude. I literally,
Yeah. And you feel
she's a track star, like energy.
and it feels good momentarily. The problem is that you're stuck, right?
Yeah.
It's spinning.
Yeah, for a moment. And then I'm like, damn, I'm spiraling and like really not acknowledging this.
That's
And
it.
then it
What's
just
the science like on the triggers, Dr. Luana? Like, what's happening in our brain when we're being triggered?
Vic, that's a great question. So let's start by calling, instead of mental health, brain health, right? What happens to the brain? So when we trigger the old brain, the limbic system, supposed to make us fight, flight, or free, turns on immediately. Any kind of danger. When that happens, our thinking brain shuts off. Your stomach gets upset. You get tense. You start to sweat. You're ready to fight. That's what's happening. And in that point, we can't actually think, right? We only feel. And it's really important to cool off the brain in that moment because we're working out of fear instead of the ability to face it and fight it.
And so you said it's the limbic system that's being activated.
That's
And
exactly right.
and so we want to get back to the parasympathetic nervous system, right?
Correct?
And so how is that done?
So a couple
let's do
tricks
that.
here. That's a good question. So a couple tricks. We think often about when I'm spinning, think about thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Okay. What am I saying to myself? How do I feel? What do I want to do? And as much as you can, you want to slow down your brain. So if you feel like you're spinning too much, I think Lauren talked about this, taking a breath and doing mindfulness, anchoring the present moment, unplugging for as many things as possible to allow your brain to understand that perhaps in that moment it's a false alarm, that nothing really bad is going to happen, to try to turn on your thinking brain again. It might take a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But the important thing is not to react in that moment.
Yeah. Self-soothing also helps, like talking to myself. I know that might sound crazy, but like when I talk out loud to myself and I'm like, Lauren, it's okay. Like this is not something that you need to be worried about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I kind of like talk to myself like I'm talking to my inner child, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like just kind of like relaxing her and reminding her that she's like safe, you know? Like that I'm gonna protect her. I'm not gonna like violate her, you know?
Absolutely, Lauren, because when you're talking to yourself, you're working through your thinking brain, and you're self-soothing, and you're trying to say, listen, let's look at what's going on here. What's the evidence here, right? I'm okay right now.
Exactly. It's a presenting of evidence. That's why journaling helps me too, because it's the same kind of vibe. Is like you're like writing down the evidence of what you're feeling, and like transmuting that through a pen. For me anyway, like that's why I love fucking music, man. Because
Your journal is fire.
thank
So
you.
fire.
Yeah, Vic's seen my journal.
So dope.
No, but Lauren, you're right on. There's actually science behind what you're talking about. Writing turns on your thinking brain, calms down the limbic system.
Right, because like
wow,
in order for
really?
you to write, you have to literally activate that side of the brain, right?
Yeah, and both parts of the brain can be on at the same strength. So when you start to write, it's your thinking brain, it's your prefrontal cortex, and so then it calms you down. So you're doing science without even knowing. Look at that.
Look at me, I'm a scientist.
Maybe Dr. Luana, could you, in parting, just like give us a few more tools that can be used to calm the limbic system, and maybe let us know about, and let the people that are tuned in know about some of the resources that exist for people that deal with anxiety, depression, and other mental health afflictions.
Absolutely. So the first one is this. Thoughts are not facts. When we're saying things to ourselves, they're negative and we're spinning. Thoughts are not facts.
That should be like a golden rule nugget.
It really is important, right? Second, emotions are valid, but they're not always accurate. So when you're spinning, your emotions are usually not totally accurate. 3, count on your friends. You guys are doing it beautifully here. We know that social support is the best buffer against mental illness. So whenever it's spinning, go for somebody that's your safe haven. That really helps. And if you need more resources, we have a free course, Mental Health for All, that you can find on my website, drluana.com.
Amazing.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
It's a pleasure. It's great to be here with you guys.
Appreciate you. I think before we get out of here, I don't know that I know how to switch this. I disappeared? Okay.
We disappeared, yeah. I was like,
I got out of here a little quick. No, before we get out of here, my homie Kenneth Cole asked me if I could share a couple bars that may be related to the subject matter. So I have a song that I did some years ago with Pharrell that was like just really, really cathartic for me. And I remember writing this verse in the studio, and you know, I was just like, I was weeping the whole time because I was expressing so many things that I had trouble articulating. So I'll wrap it now. It goes, introduction to Victor, not Vic Mensa, the one you never meet in a double XL issue. I got so many issues, I should be my own publisher. The beat is my therapist, skateboard, paint the picture. A portrait of the artist formerly known as Vic. I read the signs, I was close to overdose like Prince, picking pill pieces up out of the bathroom sink. Like an armored truck riding the brink, I'd probably be a vegetable if not for medical attention. My self-destructive habits have me itching, like Tyrone Bigums in the cyclone of my own addictions. The voice inside my head talking, I don't want to listen. You never be good enough, nigga, you never was. Nobody fucking needs you, you should just jump off the bridge. You hurt everyone around you, you're impossible to love. I don't want you to live. I wish you were fucking dead. I wish you were never born. We would all be better for it. I don't love you. I don't like you, like a fucking metaphor. Fuck every song you ever done. You lie to everyone and expect them to tell the truth when that's something you never done. You're a fucking embarrassment. How dare you win? Nigga, you let the devil in. You're still a drug addict. You're nothing without your medicine. Go and run to your sedatives. You can't run forever, Vic. Climb the tallest building and spread your wings. I remembered all the bars. I thought I was going to forget them. All right.
All
So I
right,
wanted to
writer.
share that.
All right, writer.
You know what I mean?
Wow. And that is it, right? So it's like that's what art can be if you let it be that. Whether you give it to the world or not, you know? Like that message to yourself is powerful whether anybody else received it or not. Because
I feel like we always
you
write to
needed
ourselves, right?
you needed to talk to yourself.
You know, that's what it's about. But we've been able
Maybe
to
a
take
little
this
nicer
moment.
next time, but
Yeah, I've been working on that.
we're trying it. That's part of the healing process, I feel like. It's like letting go of that white supremacist in all of our brains that tells us that we're worthless.
Yo, fam. Oh, man, I be having that conversation all the time, how we've been mentally colonized, though. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know what I'm saying? This is where they really got us. Because they couldn't have us out here if they didn't have us here, you know?
Yo, word. Really true. This has been a phenomenal discussion.
Amen.
I appreciate you so much, Lauren, and I appreciate you, Dr. Luana.
Thank you for
Appreciate you,
sharing
Kenneth
that.
Cole. Kenneth Cole somewhere on here. So shout out to the Mental Health Coalition. They're doing this every day in May. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And every day in May, they're going to have artists like myself and Lauren come on and speak and, you know, talk about their real lives with professional mental health professionals as well. So thank you guys all for tuning in. All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Peace.
Ciao.